Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's Tamitou here today. So today's build is going to be this giant Hampton style house, building it in Brindleton Bay. It just really suits the other houses around it, of course. That was the main style that came with Cats and Dogs in terms of build and buy. So I really just fancied having a go at making my own Hampton style house, and yeah, it was a challenge and it was fun. I like it. I like how it turned out, and I think maybe next time I have a go at it, it'll come out even better, just from the things I learned building it. So I just went with the typical shapes of the other houses around Brindleton Bay that kind of are the same theme, because I've never seen the style house myself. I obviously had a look online and had got some pictures up, but yeah, I tried to keep it true to the theme, and I just really fancied using a lot of white and blue kind of nautical colours, and I just really fancied a whole build where everything was themed and matchy and really glam. So this was the perfect home, and I definitely got my fill because there were like 4 living rooms in this house, 5 bedrooms, a pool, conservatory area, massive kitchen dining space. So I definitely got to decorate in that theme, to the point where now I'm sick of it. So but when I finished, I actually did move a family in and play a little bit, just because I loved it that much. So that's a good sign. If you want to download it will be on the gallery under my username, which is Tamitou, the same as my YouTube channel. And yeah, it's a very expensive build, so beware. Either put your free real estate on or have some wealthy Sims move in. It's a nice home to aspire to, I guess, because it's quite a good home for like generation or legacy challenges, I guess, because the whole family can definitely fit, you know, like through all the life stages and stuff. You could even keep the whole family in, instead of moving them out to separate lots and stuff. So yeah, you could always aspire to sort of afford it. And then good luck affording the bills, because there are a lot of bills. So I think it's like 16,000 a week or something, maybe a bit more. So once I'd got the layout or the outside shape figured out, I sort of sectioned off where the pool was going to be, and I really wanted this big open staircase sort of entrance area where it was 2 stories of space straight up, and it's a really grand entrance when you walk in. So that took me a couple of tries to figure out the stairs and that kind of thing, because deleting the floor sometimes can be a pain when you have stairs leading up. But yeah, we got there, and the roof doesn't clip in anywhere, so I think I fixed that all around. And I also went with this base game door. I just thought it was a bit different, and it stood out more as the front door just because of the round shape on the top. And then I used the other Cats and Dogs doors, the more modern looking ones. I used those throughout the build for other sort of exits and stuff around the back. So yeah, I thought that one looked quite grand, and especially with the pillars as well. And when I add the white like wood or the siding as the outside wallpaper, it really just comes to life and it looks so glamorous, especially with the black roofing as well. So I wanted this little sort of octagonal tower, I guess, coming up on that one side, just as a sort of feature. Again, it looks really nautical. It kind of looks like a little lighthouse or something. Yes, it was tricky kind of trying to get the rooms in there to look you know, not weird, because of all the diagonal walls, but it was fine in the end. I think I put 2 bedrooms, so one in the top, one in the bottom. Yeah, so you can see the white wallpaper just makes it pop, and it actually isn't the Cats and Dogs one, it's a horizontal one from the Spa Day pack, I believe. So I think it worked better going horizontal than vertical, in my opinion. So yeah, and I also used the laundry day bay windows as well for like that conservatory area. I really would have loved to have glass roofs at this point to be able to actually put a glass roof on the conservatory, but that's something I'm probably going to come back to when we get it in the patch before Seasons comes out, because that is going to come free in the patch. So I'm probably going to go back and add that, and maybe re-upload it again on the gallery, so you can maybe download the second version if you want. But yeah, I can't wait for that to be a feature that, you know, we can just add glass roofing anytime we want. Oh, it'll be so good. So the kitchen, as you can see, is massive. It's not all the kitchen. I'm going to kind of section off the kitchen in this area, as you'll see, and there's also like a fireplace area with some seats, a sitting area, another sofa over this side there's just a lot of almost useless, unnecessary space. So I've put a lot of just pretty sofas and armchairs that probably never get used. They're just sort of accent pieces around the house, and they're just there to fill it up really, because it's massive. It was quite refreshing though to do a huge build for once. Even though now I think this will be it for another week or so, because I can't anymore. So here I wanted to do this little trick I saw on Pinterest. I think it was Pinterest or Instagram. I wanted to use this cats and dogs corner sofa seat thing. I wanted to use it with the kitchen islands behind it, so it's almost like the breakfast or dining, or like the informal dining area, shall we say. So I just use these little retail tables to kind of fill in the gaps and make it not diagonal. And then this is also like just a little informal, cute, cozy little, just more comfortable looking dining area with the cushions and stuff. So I do think, did the Sims actually sit on that side? I don't think they can, but if you pull the table away a bit more, then they probably could sit on there as well. And then I do also add some more cushions onto the ends of those tables, because they looked a bit blank. So I just like that little nook. It's actually my favourite part, I think, the kitchen of the whole build. It's just so over the top and unnecessarily large, and I really like that. So over here I actually changed this up for the sofa up soon for a vintage glamour one. This one looked too comfy, and I thought, well, this sofa, I mean, when I moved my family in, it was the pets that would use that sofa more, or the toddlers when they come to eat their food, or the pets would just fall asleep on it. So it was kind of not used by the adult Sims or anything. It was just like useless. So I changed that up for a white one with the nice tablecloth covered tables, as you can already see. And I just wanted a little bench area as well over this side, which again fills in the space quite nicely, and it's just a chance to use as many cats and dogs items as I could, or as many sort of white country glam items as I could find. And I do end up repeating a few items throughout the build, as you can probably imagine, because it's huge, and I wanted to keep it themed, as I said, so it's nothing strays too far from the theme. And here I just wanted to raise the cooker hood. I wanted it to float basically, so I sized it up by 1, and it floats above the 2 stoves, because one stove is not enough for a house this big. I'd also recommend getting a butler. If you can afford this house, you can probably afford a butler too. It just helped with the laundry, the cooking, the cleaning, especially if you have pets and toddlers as well. Even though sometimes I found my butler was just doing nothing. Like, he was walking around, when they look for dust on the tables, as if everything else is spick and span all over, which means clean, and there's just like something's leaking, something's broken, some dishes need cleaning, and he's just stood there like he doesn't get it. So I think butlers are a little bit broken. I sometimes just have to like reset him, and maybe he gets to it then, or do it myself basically. So this is the conservatory sort of like / pool house. I wanted it to be more of an informal, if you can even call it that, space. It's kind of got more comfy sofas with the cushions, really, really beautiful fireplace with some nice tiles, and this gorgeous wallpaper. I love using this wallpaper lately in all the different swatches it comes in, but this blue really worked well with the theme, but it was just a bit different from the other blues, so it just set the room apart from the other rooms. And we do put some towels in there later, and a lot of plants as well, because I wanted it to be more like a bit more botanical and more like a greenhouse kind of space as well, because obviously the plants will grow well in there. The TV space here that I'm doing now, I'm just trying to like make more of a TV unit. So I use these marble tables from Dine Out and a massive TV, and I end up using some base game sofas. I think these pale blue ones, they're gorgeous. They're like a really nice soft baby blue, and the matching chairs as well, because some of the sofas don't have matching chairs or love seats, so I find it sometimes tricky to get a full set, because in this house I think it would be the type of house to have a full set of furniture instead of just odd or random bits put together. So I use these marble coffee tables as well. I wanted them to match the marble on the wall, and two little symmetrical lamps as well, which are really pretty. And here and there I have put more modern looking items, like these flowers, for example. It's not really, it's kind of traditionally styled, but with lots of modern kind of touches. So yeah, it's kind of a nice mix. I really like it. And I've used chandeliers mostly as well, like all over. I thought, you know, nothing but the best for this house. So with the bar, I really wanted to use this bar, and it was probably the best one for the theme. And I didn't like the back. It was much too, or the front, like where the like portholes are they called. It was just really, it looked not very glamorous. It just looked more on theme, like you would find it in a pirate bar or something. I don't know. So I flipped it round and I ended up putting some more counters there with some bench or some bar stools as well, so it makes it a nice little, like a really decent looking, you know, bar area. So when you have parties and stuff, you can get a bartender and you can actually sit there in the separate room and still have the benches and stuff. So yeah, it turned out quite well in the end, and as you can see, there's ample space, so it was a good way to fill up the space. And yeah, I really like the chairs on the dining table. I like the two at the end that are different. I just think it's a nice glamorous touch. So yeah, the outdoor area at the back as well is probably, I mean, you could probably extend it if you put it on a bigger lot as well, obviously. But I like that it's quite neat and tidy, and it's not massive, because I figure you'd be near the beach anyway if you lived here, so you wouldn't need a huge amount of outdoor space. But yeah, that's why I kind of kept it quite neat, and I sort of put a hedge around it just to keep it all neat and tidy. And it's very like well manicured, I guess, the garden, and there's no like crazy bushes and trees and that kind of thing. There is a little bit of landscaping, but it's nothing too heavy, because I didn't want it to look, I wanted it to look maintained, basically. So yeah, that's why I just kept it to the minimum. So this bedroom is the downstairs guest bedroom, and I did this trick that I've done a couple of times with this half wall, putting the bed against the half wall, and then a picture behind on the wall, not the half wall, the wall behind, if that makes sense. And then from certain angles it looks like it's above the bed, and it just, I don't know, it's just a really nice different kind of way to, I don't know, make the bed look like the feature of the room. And also, like I said, the diagonal room is just a bit odd to work with, so I could have just put the bed on the back wall, but I thought that would be boring, and then I just have this massive gap in the middle. So I did this instead, and this is the room I ended up assigning to my butler. But honestly, I think it's too nice for a butler. Like, I know that sounds mean, but he spends a lot of time in here, like sleeping and stuff. That sounds really mean, because he should be able to sleep. But yeah, he sometimes is in here when he should be working. And I just make it more guest kind of looking by putting a like a tray with some, like a tea set on the end of the bed. So I make the tray, or I just use a table with a mirrored surface, and I just use the move objects and put it onto the bed or in the bed. And then I just put a little tea tray, and the Sims can totally use the bed while it's there, and it just looks more like an actual guest room. Like if someone's staying over, you would, you know, have them, serve them breakfast in bed or something. So for the master bedroom, which is in the same tower kind of section of the house, I wanted to make this sort of 4-poster bed that I've made before in just rooms that I've uploaded to the gallery, not in a video yet. But I really like using these transparent curtains. I don't think it looks too messy actually, with these all kind of moved into, you know, into this shape. I don't think it looks too bad, but I do end up changing this in like right before the end, I think, because I decided I don't know, I just decided I wanted a quilted headboard instead, and it just looked a little bit too cramped. And I also discovered that these chairs from Jungle Adventure in this particular swatch, or the light swatches, looked so good in a coastal theme. So in any sort of nautical coastal theme, especially a more luxurious setting, they look so good. And I'm really starting to appreciate some of the Jungle Adventure items in different contexts now. So later on you'll see I use the sofas as an outdoor seating area, because they've just got this really nice kind of weathered looking wood and some really nice white cushions and stuff. So yeah, I'm really starting to experiment with those, as well as the tiles and that kind of thing that came with that pack. So Yeah, I love how these look. They're perfect. They're perfect like nautical chairs or coastal looking chairs. So as you can see, this bedroom, which is the master bedroom, has this huge corridor that is belonging to it, and it's got six wardrobes, look, all the way down. So either side you've got three, and I wanted to use those ones with the, like, they're made of wood and they're slatted, and I wanted to use those ones because they're more coastal looking, and they are 2x2 instead of 2x1, so they're huge. But that worked well in this build because it was so massive and I had space to fill. So the bathroom here as well, I'm showing you better footage just because I really like how the shower room turned out. So at first I just left these windows just sort of hanging. They're not even on a wall or anything, that's why they look a bit dark. But in the end I do actually, what I do is make a separate room with some windows and glass doors that has the shower just, you know, in its own little room, and I really like how that looked. It was quite luxurious looking. I don't know, it just looks really expensive. And I also wanted to put outside a sign that has the name of the house. I thought this is a massive house, and the lot that I have it on has 2 gates and this huge round bit of pavement before you go to it. And I feel like if you drove in, it would have a sign saying, you know, the name of the house, and it commands that much presence, you know, that's how big and crazy it is. So yeah, I'm also adding some outdoor seats, some more like pool loungers, I guess. And yeah, there's just countless seating areas and places to relax here and just do nothing and be rich. So I made this really nice custom mirror that I've done so many times in the past, just never, I don't think, in a YouTube video. And it's just by sizing up this violin painting and using the mirrors, and especially with that particular what's it called, fireplace, it looks really good because the mirrors come down through the back, and it just looks really nice, and I like how that looks, and that's like the feature of that room. So so back upstairs we are working on like a teen room. I really wanted to do different types of rooms because if you moved a family in here, there's kids rooms, toddler room, well, there's like a nursery that fits babies and toddlers, a teen room, and then a master room. So there's a lot of diversity in terms of family members, and obviously you could have like I don't know, the grandparents could be in the downstairs bedroom, for example, so that would work really well. So in this room I wanted to stray a little bit from the colour scheme and from the style, so I've obviously kept with these turquoise and blue colours, but I've also put a few more modern bits or more kind of casual laid back bits, I guess, and I just really like how it turned out. I like the I don't know, just the difference in it. I like doing teen rooms because in a build like this where it's themed, you can kind of stray from the theme a little bit with the teen room and just show the personality of the teen who's obviously wanting to be a bit more rebellious in their style and a bit more outgoing, I guess. And yeah, it's just a bit of fun. And I really like these tables as well. Again, they're jungle adventure tables, but in the lighter swatches, they look so good in this type of build. And we've also got the asymmetry there with the lamp. There's only one lamp on the one side, which in the rest of the house, it's always symmetrical. So yeah, just a little nod to kind of the rebellious teen who might, well, very lucky teen actually, to be living in this house. And here I'm just adding the massive chandelier in the entrance. So as long as you've got your grid on, you can usually place that without it snapping to the bottom level. And yeah, just size it up until you're happy with it. My Sims can get around fine, so it didn't cause any problems with access or anything. Yeah, so here I'm just adding, like I said, the towel. So I imagine when you come in from the pool, you can grab a towel and like dry off in this area because it's stone, and then you're not going to get the house, you know, not going to drip as you walk through the house or anything. But yeah, I just really like this pool area as well, this pool room. I think that and the kitchen are probably my favourites. I keep changing my mind. But I also put some more plants in here and there, and I've been using the Jungle Adventure plants a lot recently. Since they separated them, I've just been obsessed with them. And I also put a few candles around this little yoga area. I figured that was another pastime that's probably typical of the residents. And there's also going to be a painting area There's this obviously this really nice camera, so for the photography skill you can up that. And I just liked I use these debug photos from Get to Work, and they are actually crime scene photos, but they are not meant to be that. They're just meant to be photos, like, you know how teens or people like to scrapbook, or kids like photos with friends and then they kind of scrapbook and stuff, and I figured maybe that was one of the pastimes of the teen here. So I just put some photos on the floor as if she's like sorting them out or something, but they're honestly not meant to be crime scene photos, but there's nothing on them, so don't worry. Or maybe your teen is a bit dodgy, I don't know. So this room I figured was a kid's room, but a kid who's lucky enough to have a double bed. So I really love this double bed swatch with the blue stripes. It's so perfect, and I also got to use some of the nice wallpaper as well, with the clouds on it, and I balanced it out with the yellow. So again, we're adding a bit more some different colors into this room, and kids' rooms I think should always be more colorful. It just doesn't seem right to have it so two-dimensional with just two colors. So yeah, I've added some more colors through the toys and the walls and that kind of thing, but it's still very soft and nautical, so I really like that. So I've got a little ship on the shelf, and I realized if you took this debug bear out, he actually does have legs. I thought he was only half a bear and half a doll, because in the catalogue you always see half of them, but when you take them out they actually stand up, but it just, I don't know, the shelf didn't work, so I'll use it somewhere else. And then I'm just adding some detail on the shelves. There's some clutter and nothing too untidy though, because I don't think it's that type of family or house. Again, if they've got a butler, you know, everything is going to be put away. Even the books that I put out as decor, he was rude enough to tidy them up. I hate when they do that. Anyway, I really like that painting I just switched that for. It's really nice. I don't use it enough, to be honest. It's something I just forgot about. It's just got loads of different frames and some pink as well, which added some pink to the teen room, which I thought was quite realistic. It's obviously looking quite feminine at that point, so yeah. This I thought was obviously, this is definitely a gender neutral room, but also I did actually have a boy in mind when I built it, so yeah. And here I'm just going into debug and just like looking at stuff and thinking, oh, this is cool, you know, if you size this up. Anyway, didn't end up using the ring, but I did use these water bottles that I've used before. I love them for nautical builds. They're the ones that you see Sims using if they pour water at the bar, and they just look really nice. They've got the little like nautical looking top to them, because they've got like a little, what is it called, like the stopper. So they're cute. I just use them as decor items. And lastly, I think this is the nursery. So I actually made this massive room. It's called the nursery. It's not just one kid's room. It's like where they live as toddlers and babies. So when they age up to toddlers, they stay in this room. There's loads of toys. There's everything they need. There's even going to be a little changing area and I said toys. A bookshelf, a high chair, potty, everything like that. So all of that stuff's going to be in that room, and I just found it a lot easier for gameplay. And it was just impossible to separate this space because of the diagonal walls, so it was impossible to make it smaller and still accessible and stuff. So I just ended up making it all one room, and I figured why not just have it as a massive nursery, because if there's one house that's going to have it, it would be this one. So I'm just using these debug toddler books again, just adding them on the shelf and things like that. The butler did tidy up the ones on the floor when I added him, but not the ones on the shelf, so it's all good. Yeah, and you'll see me here adding my little changing table that I've done in a couple of builds before. I think I did a neutral nursery recently with the same idea, and I've done it in something else that I can't recall right now. And I also raised up a little toy on that chair in the corner, which looks really cute in the screenshots, which you'll see. And yeah, I just add some more detail here, but overall it's kind of the most messiest room, or the least themed, because it's you know, it's for kids, and it's just got toys all over, and a lot more different colors just added here and there. And the crib's going to be tucked in the corner with like a little divider across it, just so that the baby can maybe get to sleep and not have to worry about the sound that they're making, the toddlers, for example. So yeah, it's kind of sectioned off a little bit, and it's just really cozy. It's just going to be here in this left corner. So yeah, I really like how the nursery turned out. It was so fun to play a family in, for sure. But I definitely needed a nanny or a butler to help because it was a lot of work, as you probably know, when you have toddlers in the game. And babies still don't seem to be aging up on their own either. I have to do it manually, even with aging on. So let me know if that's also a problem you have, because I don't know if it's just me. So yeah, just before we head into the screenshots, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching, and subscribe if you haven't already. And also follow me on my Instagram, my Twitter. They're under Tamitou YT. Yeah, you'll get to see some preview shots, I guess, of different builds I'm putting out, and tell me what you think, and just get involved with everything on the channel. So I'd really love to see you, so come across. But that's about it. So I'm gonna go into the screenshots now, and I'll see you very soon for the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.